think I've got audio. Let's see. Looks pretty good. I've already got 8 of you in here tonight, so thank you all for showing up. That's wonderful. Sorry we missed last week. I had a bit of a tummy bug. It didn't last too long, and it wasn't the worst, sort of stomach virus anyone's had, but took me out a little bit. So we had to skip last week, but thank you all again for joining us this week. And I think we will start, since lots of people are already in here. We will just adjust my audio a little bit. Okay, that's good. Welcome, Misty. Welcome, Tracy. Tanya, great to see you back tonight. Okay, so I think we'll start with our weekly reading. And we'll just pull a few cards for the group for the week. And then we will get on to individual readings. And if you would like a reading, you can just type your question in the chat, and my wonderful wife and moderator, Candy Hearts Art, will put you on the list in the queue for a mini tarot reading. And as always, you can support us by either sending us a donation with the link in the channel, or subscribing and liking this video. All those things are immensely helpful, and I am always grateful for any support. So, first things first, let's clear the air a little bit. I think tonight we're going to pull from the Crow deck. Will be our group reading from the Crow deck tonight. So, but first we need a little bit of good juju in the air. There we go. Much better. Okay. Great. Nice to see we're already getting some requests. So, but first off, what is up for our group for this week? Okay. So, High Priestess. Death. Don't panic. Oh, and there's the Hermit. That's funny. I just flipped that card over just to show you the deck. And here it is. I had a feeling. So this is 3 majors too, like a big week. Big breakthrough week, and a few weeks ahead as we get into the last of February here. And very interesting with all of this. So very interesting to see the High Priestess here. She's definitely a card of the moon and the divine feminine, and we are in this big time of like lunar eclipse. We have some major ones. I think I'm not sure if we had one already, but this month. But I know we have a lot of sort of lunar energy going on this month, so that's really interesting. So the High Priestess is calling for us to look more inward, to reflect, to take a pause here, which I think is great. It's a short month, so it kind of comes up pretty quickly, the end of the month, and before you know it, it's already March. It won't be long. We do get a leap day this year, but big call here to do some serious introspection, look inward, really look at those sort of the shadow self, as we like to say. And as we do so, I think we're going to find a letting go, a release of something. And that's what death here is really about. There's something that we are all holding on to that we need to get more in touch with, so that we can start to let go of it, that we can surrender that to the universe. Because whatever this is, and it may be different for each one of us, but whatever it is, it's not serving us any longer. It's not helping us to prosper and to really fulfill our divine purpose in this lifetime. And then the hermit is sort of the final stage of that, where we go through this introspection, we release whatever this is, and we find ourselves with a broader and greater perspective on things, a greater wisdom and ability to look at things from a slightly more detached point of view. And so the hermit is shining their light down from the heavens, or from this tree in this case. But again, that star, that divine radiance and illumination, and sharing that wisdom with the world. But again, from a place of compassionate detachment. I know that's a very sort of contradictory thing, but it's a very Zen sort of thing, to both really care and be present in the moment and be a part of everyone's lives, and yet not allow the ups and downs of our own life become too intertwined with that. Sometimes that's the most compassionate thing you can do. So a lot of introspection, a lot of clearing out this week. And I hope that serves us all well. And so we've already got a couple of requests here, it looks like. And I hope everyone else is doing well. Hello, Helix. Welcome in tonight. Let us know if you want reading. Just let us know in the chat. And we will pull for Misty Potter, 728. What would my guides want me to know to help me? A great question. That's always a great question for tarot. Let's see what your guides would like you to know for this week, Misty. Okay. All right, Misty, I think that's a good shuffle. Feels right. Feels right. Let's see. More major cards. Wow. The Hierophant. 6 of Pentacles. That's a good one. And King of Cups. So the Hierophant and King of Cups here, really fascinating. Again, we have the moon and goddess energy. But starting with the Hierophant, you may find yourself running into some blockage in something in your life, something you're trying to do. It might not be actual finances, but it might be career or task related, like some endeavor in your life. It's very interesting. And the Hierophant can represent a bit of a gatekeeper here. So this may be an actual other person that is going to, in some way, sort of hold you back and say, I don't approve of this, or there's a need to get approval from this person. It might not be in a very strict sense of approval, like you actually need a boss to tell you it's okay to do something, or you need some sort of legal permit or permission. But somehow you have a sense of needing approval from somebody or something in your life to move forward with the things you're trying to do. So what we see here is that sort of holding you up. And the 6 of Coins here suggests that there is a balance to this, that maybe in the past you were someone who perhaps sought a lot of approval from people for things that you were doing. Might be friends, parents, but maybe you're someone who's typically and classically gotten sort of hung up on that, that's that idea of external validation. And so the Six of Coins tells us that in this moment that you have a balance of things, that it is important to have some sense of what others think about what you're doing and to consider other people's opinions, especially if they are someone who has an immediate stake in what's going on and what actions you're taking. But know that you have discernment and choice in this, and that you have a good sense of what is right and wrong, not just for yourself, but the people around you. And so you are ready and poised and okay to move forward. It might be difficult for you to get this other person to give that approval or see it that way. And so the King of Cups here is here to tell you to put sort of emotional order to this. It is a call to move forward, sort of regardless, with or without this approval, because you are ready and you have the emotional fortitude to survive whatever criticism or disapproval might come your way, or whatever it is that you're afraid of in moving forward. So be on the lookout for this to creep up in the next week or two. And that's what your guides really want you to get right with, is to not be afraid to act on your own. If you really feel inspired and feel that things are good and you are making the right choice. Okay, well, thank you, Misty. I hope that clicked with you. I hope that makes some sense. We will move on now. Next up, we have Tracy Lynn 7148. And your question, Tracy, is what do my guides want me to know at this time? Always a great sort of somewhat general question. You can never go wrong with asking your guides, your spirit guides, for some advice. Okay. Tracy, what do your guides have to tell you this evening? Oh, the High Priestess. I love how we get these like really common threads through our readings, whether it's the group one or your individual readings. The 10 of Swords, very interesting, and 4 of Swords. So there's some interesting sort of bits of conflict and stuff going on here. And I just love to see these common threads. It helps me to feel like the readings are helpful and good. If we were constantly getting contradictory stuff every week, I think, well, you might question my ability to read the cards. So this is great. And the High Priestess is really like one of my favorite cards here. So again, that call for looking inward. And in your sense, Tracy, I sense that you are someone who has done a fair bit of this in your life. So this is not a foreign concept to you. And maybe right now or very recently, you've been taking that deeper look inward. In this case, the High Priestess for you might suggest also to perhaps collaborate or seek some guidance from some others, people who are sort of that, in this sort of spiritual world. So other people who do sort of follow similar beliefs, people who are going to help you look inward at yourself and maybe find a little bit of guidance in that area from another person who is well established and wise and has some experience in this, like a tarot reader. The 10 of Swords, and I think what the reason for this is what we see here with the swords. So 10 of Swords is the completion of conflict. sometimes it can suggest a betrayal too, because we see this person stabbed in the back. But I'm not seeing that here. I don't see this as being that much of a sort of relationship thing. But some ongoing conflict is going to come to its resolution. And in some sense, your guides want you to know that the resolution has already happened. It may not be apparent to you, but it has resolved itself. And maybe you're not aware of it. And maybe you're still dwelling on this. And so that's where the Four of Swords is really interesting, because the Four of Swords is like this card of rest. It suggests to take rest, to let go of things and stop dwelling on them a bit, and let the universe bring you the answers and bring the solutions to you, because they are already essentially there. They do already exist. There's just a little bit of lag. And so take rest. You might find that this comes to you in some dreams. You might find some inspiration, or your guides will try to speak to you this week through some dreams. So also be very mindful of that, and maybe do some dream journaling. If you don't, just have a notebook by your bedside, and as soon as you wake up in the morning, write down whatever you can remember of your dreams, even if it's the tiniest thing. Even if you don't really remember anything, you can write down, I don't remember anything. But it's going to help you access your dreams and have more vivid and lucid dreaming, which I think is really the means of communication that your guides are trying to speak to you through. So be on the lookout for that. And again, it's only good news that they're going to bring to you. They're going to bring you a sense of resolution to some sort of conflict in your life. It might be a more internal conflict, something that you're at odds with yourself about, or it might be a conflict with another person. It's hard to say without getting into a more in-depth reading, which is something I'd be happy to do for you at some point, but that's what your guides are telling you right now. So thank you for your question, Tracy. I much appreciate it, and it's always an honor and joy to read for everybody tonight. Okay, so moving on. I think we're just going to clear the air a little bit here real quick. Okay. Oh yes, Helix. It is so it is not easy to shuffle like this. This is called a riffle shuffle. And then the bridge. There you go. And tarot cards are typically a bit bigger. In fact, some are huge. They're like the size of a book. So something like this size, or like the size of the Crow deck, which is just a little bit bigger. That's about the largest thing I can shuffle like that. So don't feel bad. It is not easy to do, even if you have larger hands. It's not something everyone can do. And a lot of my expertise at this comes from years of gaming, playing card games, playing Magic the Gathering, and then especially in my youth. And then in my 20s, for most of my 20s, I aspired to be a professional gambler, a professional poker player, Texas Hold'em player, like you see the guys on TV. So I spent a lot of time shuffling and dealing and playing cards, which is why I'm as good at this as I am. But I digress. So, Pania, you have a general reading on board. Okay. So, let's see, Pania. What do we have here? Oh, the Emperor. There's a lot of the Emperor, Hierophant. They're kind of similar cards. There's a strong sort of masculine sense of order in those cards. So what I sense here, what I see here is again, we have the Emperor and the Hierophant are both like these gatekeepers. And for you, what I see happening is a similar thing of like you've had some people in your life, again, this might be again more like career or some part of your life. So there's some folks who've kind of been in charge. For me, I'm a lot stronger about career with this for you. So this is like a boss, or if you work for yourself, then it's a specific client or customer, but they've kind of been calling the shots. And you are now stepping into a place where you're going to have to step up and take leadership, and be the one who leads and creates more order. And that's what the King of Wands is speaking to. So it's a transition from this former leadership of this other person to you having to call more of the shots, and be the one who organizes things and is in charge more. And you may have some apprehension about that. I mean, that can be kind of a scary thing, having to step into more leadership, having to be the one who creates more order, and kind of gets things organized. But it's there and it's meant for you to do, and you are capable. You have the power to do this. And if you lean into this, and again, it will be uncomfortable at first, there is a sense of a renewed joy in what you're doing. Again, there'll be sort of the scary part of it, but once you get the ball rolling, once you start to lean into this, you're going to have a very renewed sense of like, oh wow, I can do this. I actually enjoy doing this. I didn't realize maybe that I like to be the one, um, you know, calling the shots. So that's a step forward for you, I think, in your life and really probably in your career, is moving into greater leadership, and greater power, if you will, in that authority. So that's actually really exciting, and it will be an enjoyable experience once you get through the initial apprehension of it. So I hope that finds you well, Panya. But yeah, that's what's coming on this week. So we have a long list. So we are, let's see, just to keep everyone up to date. We are 1, 2, 3. So I've got about 6 more people on the list right now. This is wonderful. So again, thank you everyone for coming in. We'll stick with this rider weight deck. Feels good to me. And next up, next question, DM Walker 320. I would like more about my health. Okay, DM. Always a common and great question for tarot. I do want to be 100% clear that I am not a doctor, or any sort of medical professional. And just so that we're in the clear and I don't get in any trouble, just I want to be 100% clear that this reading is not intended to be any sort of professional medical advice. That being said, I hope it gives you some inspiration and ideas about what is going on with your health, and where to go next in terms of whatever challenges you may be facing. So welcome in, Jen. We're about 6 deep right now on the waiting list, but if you put your question, if you'd like a reading tonight, put your question in the chat. My wonderful wife, Candy Hearts Art, will be more than happy to add you to the list, and we will get you your reading this evening. But bringing it back around, we are reading for DM Walker, and again, this is a question wanting to know more about their health. So let's see. We have King of Cups. Okay. 10 of Coins. And 9 of Cups. Well, these are all really positive things. In terms of your health. Especially 10 of Coins. I mean, this is quite powerful. So And without knowing whether you have like some sort of ongoing or current health challenge, or you're just maybe a little worried or just wondering, what I see here is, and what I sense here from spirit, is that so much of your health, and especially even your physical health, physical conditions that you may or may not have, or be struggling with, um, are tied into your emotional state. And that's true for all of us. And so the more you work on your emotional self, and that deeper self, the more that will show up in your physical health. And so the King of Cups here is this very strong reminder that your sovereign power over your health begins and ends with your thoughts and feelings. Now, that's not just to say that, say you have a broken leg, for example, that you can, you break your leg and the next day you're in the cast and you can just think like, oh, I don't have a broken leg, and all of a sudden it's healed. But the process of healing is so much dependent on how you're feeling emotionally. And so, and it becomes a cycle, it's a circle. But it begins with thoughts and emotion. And so you have to be in that space. And then 10 of coins here suggests that you will be of good health. So if you have a problem, if you are struggling, this is you will heal from this, whatever it is. You do have the ability and capacity to heal. And again, that begins from within. It really does. Even if you are engaging with modern medicine in some way, if you're taking a medicine for this thing or whatever your problems are, or other treatments, whatever they are, that's not to say you shouldn't do those things, but they have to be followed along again with that sense of healing from within. So you have a lot of resources to help you heal. The people around you, your your medical professionals that you're dealing with, your friends, family, community, are all here to help you. They have an abundance of well-being, of well wishes, of good vibrations for you, of good energy, and also practical things to help you so that you can get over whatever it is, whatever challenge it is that you're facing. And so don't be afraid to reach out to community more so than you have already, in dealing with whatever health issues you may or may not be dealing with. And on the flip side of this, you're going to come out feeling, not just again like your physical health improving or getting over whatever the challenge is, but you're going to come out of this feeling refreshed and renewed and stronger than ever, and really feeling like not just like I got past this, but like I really am a healthy person, even if I do sometimes have health issues, that fundamentally there is nothing wrong with me, and that I do have that internal capacity to heal myself and to be well, because we all do. We really all do. And so that's your guidance for this week. And I hope that finds you well and helps you going forward. Okay, that was DM. Thank you for your question. And Helix. Okay. Allow me to refresh myself real quick. I could not do this without chamomile tea. Okay, Helix. So here's your reading. Will I have a personal relationship with certain people after I meet them at my destination? Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, DM, if I can remember correctly, it was the King of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles or coins, and the 9 of Cups. And this will be available for replay afterwards too. So you can go on my channel and go back and rewatch it if you like to. And now again, on to Helix's reading. Wanting to know if you will have a personal relationship with certain people or person after you meet them at your destination. Sounds like you have some travel or maybe an event up ahead. That's exciting. So let's see. Will you have a personal relationship with certain people? Ooh, the card of judgment, a big card of transformation. Oh, that Page of Cups. We love the Page of Cups this week. Yeah, that's great. Cool. So, okay, Helix. So the most important takeaway from this is really about whatever this destination or whatever's going on at this destination, and I'm thinking maybe it's some kind of event, but your arrival at this destination, the circumstances around this travel, this place you're going to, is going to be a transformative experience for you. And that's what judgment is really about. It's this card of rebirth. You can see like basically these people are being risen from the dead. That the angels are heralding resurrection, and the deceased are being reborn and resurrected in this very Christ-like way. And so that's a powerful card. It's a very, very important card in tarot. And so this experience on the whole, I think, is going to be very transformative for you. It is going to very much change your beliefs and attitudes about things, how you feel about things, in a positive way. It's going to be a good thing. There might be moments where it feels uncomfortable, but often the most transformative experiences in our lives are a bit uncomfortable at first. As far as personal relationship with the people you're meeting up with, well, it does seem like you will have some kind of relationship will come out of this. Now, what I'm sensing here is that this is not a relationship. It won't be like a relationship in more of a romantic one, but you will have met someone. You will gain a relationship here from someone who is in a place of providing some guidance and leadership to you. That's really the King of Wands. So this is going to be someone who you now become acquainted with, and you may receive some amount of mentorship and guidance from them. So they're going to be someone who might be a bit older than you and more, I don't want to say wiser, that's not kind to you, but someone who's more knowledgeable and established in some area of life or thing that you're interacting with them about. And then the Page of Cups suggests that you may also make some additional friendships here, and this other person will be a friend, but it won't be like we're besties and we talk on the phone every day kind of friendship. But it will be someone who you can definitely like gain wisdom and guidance from. They think kindly of you, and you will correspond with them. And you may also meet someone who becomes more of a friend. Maybe someone sort of more of a peer of yours in some sense, and they will kind of bring some. I've lost the word. I don't want to just say joy. That's not to imply that you're miserable, but a renewed sense of wonder to things. The page in tarot is this sort of a younger, more youthful energy, even if the person it represents may not be younger than you. So there will be personal relationships that come out of this, but no sense that they would be like romantic ones. I think you're going to find some friendship and camaraderie here, and again, also some people who may be able to help guide you a bit. In whatever it is that you're seeking and trying to do with yourself. So I hope that seems clear. And again, thank you for showing up tonight, Helix. And we have a wonderful list of readings. And as our wonderful Nightbot has reminded us, you can support these free readings and support my channel either by leaving a tip at the donation link there in chat, or by liking or subscribing to this channel, and also checking out my website and all of the fun offerings I have on social media. You can find all that in descriptions for this video and in my channel descriptions. Okay, getting quite parched tonight. So let's see, Hannah. Hannah is up next, asking for a general reading, going through an awakening. Ooh. Okay, well, that's I'm always honored and happy to help people with their own awakenings. I've kind of been going through, well, there's spiritual awakening is one of these things where like you actually have a bunch of them throughout your life. You may not realize that you're having one, and then you have some that are like really pronounced and you're like, oh, this is it. And then you look back and you're like, oh wow, you know, I had these realizations before. You know, there was chains. So okay, Stacy, well, if you want to just put your question in, Stacy, for a reading. I did see that donation come through last week, so I would love to read for you. I didn't get an email about it, so sometimes people just send me donations at random, but I'd be happy to read for you. So please put a question in, or just let us know you want a general reading, and we will make sure that you get moved to the top of the list, because I do want to honor that. And thank you again for that donation. Yeah, and Candy, if she gives her question, please move it to like next one, since we kind of missed her last week. So, but right now, Hannah, again, your general reading, going through this spiritual awakening. And that is a lot of the work that I do. A lot of the readings I do for others is around sort of their spiritual growth, because an awakening can be a jarring thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it's powerful and it's wonderful, but it is a huge change in your life. It's a big transformation when you start going through these things. So a lot of the work that I do with people in readings, but also in my one-on-one coaching, is to help them navigate these sorts of awakenings. So let's see what your guides, what spirit has for you and your awakening. Okay, 4 of coins, the Wheel of Fortune. How appropriate for your question. Oh, and there's our 10 of coins again tonight. So here's some messages. Here's some messages from spirit about what you're going through, Hannah. A lot of your awakening at this stage of it, and what you're going through right now, what you may be experiencing, is the universe trying to nudge and push you a bit. It's spirit calling you to let go of something. There's something that you're clinging to, and you may not even be aware of it yet. And that's what 4 of coins here is about, where like this character is clinging to this coin or this pentacle here, and yet has other coins and pentacles on their head and below their feet, almost like they don't realize they have them. And they're just so tightly gripped onto this one that they've lost awareness that they actually have more than they realize. And even though Pentacles is often about things like money and stuff, it's really about all the riches of the world. And so in your case, this is really about the richness of your soul, the richness of your experience in this lifetime. And so you're hanging on to some things. You may not even be aware of what they are yet. And the Wheel of Fortune is speaking to the idea that the things you're clinging on to, while they they are manifest in your lifetime, in this lifetime right now that you're living. In other words, they are caught, they are related to some experience or something that's happened to you in this lifetime, that experience, that circumstance, whatever that occurrence is, and whatever the thing is that you're clinging to, it is something that actually came to you from a past life. And so and this is why this is tied into spiritual awakening, is that you are needing to let go of this. It's something you actually carried from a past life, and you were brought into this life, into these circumstances, to be given an opportunity to learn this lesson, to learn to let go of this thing. Something that may have served you quite well at some point. But moving forward, in order for you to step into the next phase of your life, into greater success, joy, happiness, and abundance, you're going to have to figure out what this thing is and let go. And again, here we see the wonderful help of the 10 of coins. Again, to suggest that you have many resources available to you, many people around you, a wealth of knowledge available to you, and a great number of experiences as well that you can engage with to help you understand what this thing is, what this old belief or whatever it is you're attached to is, and how to begin processing that and letting go of it. And so the urge to you is to continue to explore and reach out to other resources and other people who are sort of this, this spiritual thing, of this new age kind of thing, to help you continue to process and figure this out. And I want to be clear, like, don't get too attached to anybody that you learn from, even me. Ultimately, all of this comes from within you, but there are folks out here who, like myself, who want to help others go through their awakening, help them become more present and realize all of the wonderful things that come from it in our lives. I can tell you my own spiritual realizations in life, and especially in the more recent years, like the last 5 years, have done so much to help me overcome a lot of things that I struggled with. Things like anxiety and depression, physical health issues as well. And this spiritual path that I've found myself on has been sort of the core of of these transformations. These other things have come from that. So it has its ups and downs, and it has times of discomfort, but leaning into that is going to help you. So again, continue to reach out to other people, both nearby and through the internet, and explore other resources and practices, and more knowledge as well. Be wise, be careful when you deal with other people, because in any walk of life, you're going to find a few people who are not necessarily the most scrupulous. So be wary of just, hey, I can fix you, just give me all your money kind of thing. But there are really good, kind people out here in this world trying to help you with this. So continue to explore that. And again, it'll come to you. You'll have the realization of like what the thing is that you're trying to let go of. So thank you for that, Hannah. And don't ever hesitate to reach out to me personally as well. And if you have any other questions or want further advice or guidance. Okay, and let's see. Did we get Stacy? Okay, so that was Hannah. Before we get to you, Ellie, I want to do Stacy's reading because she actually sent me a tip last week, even though I canceled. And so I just again, thank you so much for that. I was a little uncertain whether it was just like someone sent a donation just cause, or if it was kind of because of the mix-up. So okay, Stacy, so you were wondering if someone you work with before they retired are coming back into your life this year. Okay. So you worked with this person before they retired. They're now retired. And you're wondering if they're going to re-enter your life in some way. And if I'm getting that wrong, please let me know. Okay. It's a good one. They're all good questions. There are no bad questions. That's why I love reading for all of you, because, well, you guys, all of you just really do have the best questions and topics for this. I really feel like we're becoming a little family here. I have to come up with a name for us. If anyone would like to suggest a name for our little group, I'll be happy to consider it. You can type that in the chat just for grins and giggles. Or you can send it to me personally if you think of it after the fact. So. Okay, Stacy. Is this retired person coming back into your life in some capacity? Okay. Oh, yeah. I have 3 different decks, and we shuffle the crap out of them, and we see these. They just keep showing up. You know, if I were trying to do this somehow, and I don't have any ability to, like, palm cards or do anything like that. I'm not a magician in that sense. But if I was trying to do this, I couldn't do it any better. So, here we have that 4 of Swords again. There is that sense of, like, rest. So this person is, of course, retired and resting. So what this tells me is they're certainly not going to come back to this job. They're not going to come out of retirement. So that's first and foremost. And that's what I get out of the 4 of Swords here. And yet Page of Swords is like this renewed thing. And it's renewed communication and knowledge. So this is really interesting. I think you are going to sort of reunite with this person in a more casual way through casual interaction, get a cup of coffee type of thing. They're not coming back to this job, though, and they're probably not coming out of retirement overall. But they will re-enter your life, maybe with some new information or some new news or ideas for you to interact around. But it will be a casual sort of thing. And so that's really cool. At least if you really like this person. I get the sense that you do, that this is something that you're someone that you probably would like to be more in touch with. And if I'm wrong about that, then I apologize. Regardless of whether this is desired by you or not, they will re-enter your life again. There will be communication and interaction with them. It will be on a fairly casual basis. And out of this will come a reassessment of how you feel about this person. This is sort of the 7 of Cups. So it's kind of like this illusion of choices and emotions and sort of a little bit of like confusion around that. Some mixed emotions and mixed feelings. So I think you're going to end up interacting with this person in a different capacity than you were as coworkers. And that's going to change your opinions and feelings about them a bit. I can't say honestly whether it will be for better or for worse. But you will get sort of see a new side of this person through this. But they are definitely going to re-enter your life in some way. So I hope that was pretty clear. Stacy, I hope that helps. And I really hope that this is someone that you do want to be in contact with, because it does seem like they're going to come back around. So, oh, good. As a friend. Well, good. I'm glad. Sometimes I start doing these readings and I'm like, well, especially when I can't see you face to face, I don't get those immediate reactions. So I'm a little like, oh, gee, maybe this is hard news that I'm giving you and that kind of thing. And that's why I encourage people, if they really want to go in depth with reading, I do one-on-one Zoom readings, which I charge. With the discount code, you can usually get it for about $60, but it's a whole 30 to 40 minutes of us just one-on-one in private, face to face, basically covering as much as our time allows. So I highly recommend that. If there's anything that you really want to get more in depth with, I I feel like the readings are even better and more accurate when we can kind of interact more and have questions and dialogue. So you can uh, you can book those. Link is in description for the this video or in my channel description. So just something to consider, and I do have a discount code for our friends here at the channel. So let's see, where are we time wise? Okay. So we're gonna do Ellie's reading, and then I'm gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we'll go from there. Okay, Ellie, I think we'll try. Let's stick with the Crow deck for right now. And again, thank you all for being here tonight. It's really a joy. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and select the notifications as well so you get notified. I am working on adding additional content to the channel as well beyond just doing these lives. So I hope to get a lot more into sort of tarot and how it can be a tool of transformation with sort of some how-tos and those sorts of things as well. So keep watching. It's all coming together. Just it takes a whole lot of time. Happy. Next up is Ellie, and then we have. After Ellie, I'm gonna take 5 minutes, and then after that we'll have Oh Snap, It's Colleen, Cheyenne Bowman, What If by Jen Rem, my good friend and colleague Jen, and then you will be after Jen, and then we have Heavenly Principles after you. So you are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. You're about 5 more readings down the list. Oh, okay. At Oracle Fest. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize Stacy. Oracle Fest was such a whirlwind for me, so it was intense. It was great, and it was wonderful to meet you in that. That's right. I'm sorry it didn't click. My apologies, but that was a wonderful, wonderful experience with you and everyone at Oracle Fest. I hope to do more of those. Hopefully, Kate will invite me back for those, for more of those going forward. Okay, Ellie, your crush's feelings towards you. Okay. What does your crush want to know? And I totally forgot. It was just Valentine's Day this week. So this is very appropriate. Okay. So 5 of Cups. There's that 6 of Coins again. Wow. And 9 of Wands. Very interesting cards for sort of relationship, kind of romance type things. So here's what I sense, Ellie. Here's the message I'm getting. This person does have some positive and somewhat strong feelings for you, but they are very much distracted by another person or some other situation in their life. And so they have these strong feelings, but they're so under the surface that they're not really that aware of them yet. They're just these little moments of like their attention turns towards you in some way. But right now, their attention is very much fixated on either a past relationship or a current one that's not going well or some other thing in their life that they're unhappy with. And it's really just got them fixated on that. And so they're just not coming to the realization of like, of how they feel about you. It bubbles up in these little imperceptible ways. But the feelings are there. Your role in this is to be patient. I think something can really develop here. I think this is going to develop at least somewhat over time. but it's going to be a slow going thing. It's going to take some time because this person has to kind of get clear of whatever this other situation is. Kind of have to get their head out of their butt a little bit. And so for you, a lot of the guidance here is for you to be patient and judicious, and have a little bit of detachment for it from this. And I know that's difficult. I mean, you describe this person as a crush, right? So obviously you have these strong feelings for them, um, and those feelings. Any of us, when we have these things going on, when we have these feelings of attraction, they can overcome us very very quickly. Um, and you can easily kind of become obsessed with somebody, and try to kind of rush things. So there's a sense of balance here for you, and you need to don't give up on this situation. Continue to interact with this person, but don't get too attached to how they react at any given moment. They're still again wrapped up in this other thing that's going on, and so you have to be a little bit careful and again judicious about your attention, and how much you actually are putting out there at this point. Because you may just sort of overinvest and overextend yourself before this person is really ready and comes around to these realizations about how they feel about you. So it's going to require you to take that patience. And as you do that, this relationship will start to grow and build. And the pieces of it will start to get put together, with a bright future. Something good will come out of this. And that's the sort of the totality of it. That's the 9 of Wands here. And there's probably some bits and pieces and self work that each of you have to do on yourself, do with yourselves, that you have to sort of work through before you really start to come together, and bond. And that's sort of where I see their feelings, but they do have strong and positive feelings for you, Ellie. So something good's going to come out of it. Okay, so that brings us right up to about an hour. So I am going to take 5 minutes. And after that, we will get back to everyone's readings. I have Oh Snap, It's Colleen, Cheyenne Bowman, Genron, Happy Heavenly Principles, and Misty Swiger will all be next, after about 5 minute break. So I'll see you very soon. Thank you. Okay, everybody, thanks for indulging my 5 minute break. I will lose my voice eventually. Just to give a quick rundown, we have quite a few readings left, and I don't know that we're going to be able to take many more in addition to what's on the list. But just to give you the quick rundown, next we'll be reading for Oh Snap, It's Colleen, then Cheyenne Bowman, What If by Jen Ron, Happy, Heavenly Principles, Misty Swagger. We've added now Fairy Tale, uh, Marianne, and Miss Herard. And I think Miss Herard's probably going to be the last one we do. I think we're going to have to cut it off there because it will be past my bedtime and I will turn into a pumpkin or whatever. So, okay, Colleen. Also wanting to know what your guides would like to know. Let's see. Real quick, let's get a quick clearing of the air. Okay. All right, Colleen, and thank you again for showing up. I'd like to thank everyone for their donations, for their likes and subscribes. And do make sure if you're subscribed that you click the notification, the bell icon as well. Otherwise, YouTube will not tell you when I'm on or when I have new videos up. So, okay, Colleen. Well, we've got some flyout cards here. So these must be yours. What would your guides like you to know? The Empress. Ooh. 10 of Wands and Knight of Swords for you, Colleen. Okay. This is fun. So, it is fun. So, Colleen, we have the Empress. I sense that there's something you've been nurturing and gestating here, and sort of bringing along, but it hasn't really come out to the world yet. So the Empress is like this card of obviously the feminine, the divine feminine, a card of creation. It is a card of gestation or pregnancy. And that's not to suggest necessarily that actual pregnancy is in your immediate future. I always have to be careful with that because people are just like, oh, so. But there's something that you've been nurturing that you're sitting on and you're getting it, you're preparing it to put it out to the world in some way. And I don't sense that it's, like I said, going to be an actual like pregnancy necessarily, but 10 of Wands suggests that it's some sort of endeavor, that this is more like career, oriented type stuff. So you may be getting to a place in your career and the things you do that you're well established. That maybe a new step or a new phase is coming forward for you soon. So you are well established. You have the ability to do the work. I think you're looking at some inspiration here, and something's going to set that off. Something's going to make it like real obvious. You know, the Knight of Swords is like some information. Someone comes charging into your life and being like, "Hey, this," and you're like, "Oh wow." And so, yeah, you're gonna get some new information or make a new acquaintance or something, and something they say to you or tell you is gonna like make it go off. The light bulb's gonna go off. Oh, I should do this. I should look for this kind of job, or I should change careers, or I should set out on my own. Maybe you've been working for other people, and you're like, I should do this for myself. But there is this underlying sort of new thing, this new thing that you need to sort of birth to the world, and it's gestating, and so that's what you have to sort of get in touch with. And if you're already aware and kind of know what if this is really clicking with you, then you're in a place where like the time has come, like you're getting ready to put this out to the world, and you really need to get serious about doing that because the time is here. So that's a lot of your guidance from spirit, from your guides. Be on the lookout for that sort of messenger person, that little information or tidbit that just sort of sets it all off. And then you'll know that it is time to act and to give this thing out to the world. Okay, thank you for that, Colleen. And we'll move on to Cheyenne Bowman. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Is my partner serious about a relationship? Okay. So I think what we'll do is I like to change up how we do the readings here and there. So I think for yours, we're going to pull the Lovers out, and we're going to use the Lovers, what we call a significator, not to get too technical about this, but it's like the card that represents your situation in question. So just to make sure that Spirit is clear about what we really want and what we're trying to understand. Let's use the Lovers to signify the circumstances around your relationship right now. I think that will help us get a little more concrete answer. I'd hate to pull your cards and it's all about your career or money or something like that. It does happen. So try to get a little more specific with this. Of course, when we do in-depth readings, which are like usually about 10 cards, one-on-one, through Zoom or recorded on video, then we can get a lot more into the details and energies surrounding your circumstances, your relationship in this case, or whatever your question is. And you can schedule those through the links in the description for this video or in my channel description. They all just go to my website and you can schedule one of those from there. I do have a discount code in the description as well, so you can save about 30%, 33% on your reading. So that's a wonderful deal. Okay, Cheyenne. Let's see what is going on with your partner, and are they being serious about the relationship? Okay. A lot of coins tonight. It's very interesting. It's interesting when coins show up in sort of romance and love readings. And the preponderance of the coins or pentacles here tells me this, especially starting with the 2. The sense I get is that your partner is serious about your relationship. Now, some of the disconnect that might be going on here is sort of how that looks, right? Like, you have certain ideas about when someone's serious about a relationship, how they should act. And they might have different ideas about that. And if your ideas about this are way too far apart, then you probably wouldn't be in the relationship to begin with. But, and I'm not talking about like being faithful, for example. I mean, you're allowed to have your expectations about how people, how your partner should treat you. I mean, that's totally okay. And it's important to communicate those with your partner. But I don't think it's anything that serious, like they want to be unfaithful or they are being unfaithful and they think that that's okay. I think it's more little things in their life. And so what I get the sense is that your partner has a lot going on in their life, or at least is mentally preoccupied with more material things. May not be money necessarily, just money itself, but it can be like preoccupied with family, with work and money and other friendships and things. And so they're kind of having a difficulty of juggling attention. And so I think part of why you're questioning this is you're feeling that, and so it may not seem like on the surface that they are as serious about this because they're essentially distracted. They're juggling a lot. But again, it's not a question of like them being faithful to you. They're not juggling another person, seeing someone, cheating or anything like that. But they just have a hard time, sort of setting all their priorities, which is very common for all of us in this day and age with so much going on, and just we're all constantly working and running around, and we never really get a chance to stop. So that's a lot of what's going on here. But I see them progressing into learning to be more judicious about where they are spreading their time and energy around to. So you need to continue to communicate with them in a kind way, of course, about your feelings about this, what you expect from them, but also being, really listening when they respond. What is really going on with you, or what kind of struggles are you having here? It seems like you're not paying attention to me, or we don't spend enough time together. What's really going on? They may not fully understand this yet, but I sense that there is a lot of potential here that you can work through this if you talk about it and communicate about it. Especially when you're both in a good frame of mind. If you've been arguing about it, that's not, you may have to step away from the argument. But at some point when you're sort of calm and in the right frame of mind, you have the ability to work on this together and work through this. So they're learning how to be more mindful about where they're placing their time and attention. And that's the work that you have to do together. It's right here in the Eight of Coins, is like, keep talking about this, keep communicating about it. Don't nag them, you don't have to harangue them constantly. But be clear about what your expectations and wants are. And, and listen honestly too, really listen and consider what they have to say. But you can work on this together, and whatever confusion this relationship is, it will clear up, and things will improve, because I sense that they are quite serious. They just have a lot sort of going on outside of this relationship, and they're struggling to keep all the parts, all the things in the air. So good blessings for you and your partner. Okay, Jen, you're up next, and you're wondering about what phase you're in. This is fun. Okay. Okay, Jen, thanks for hanging out. I took a while to get to your reading tonight. We get filled up pretty quickly, but let's see. Let's get some insight into your current phase of life. It could be any part of your life here. Let's see. Six of Swords. Haven't seen that one tonight. Oh, there's the Seven or Eight of Pentacles. I called it the Seven of Pentacles in the last reading, and I was wrong. Oh, and the High Priestess. Well, this is fun. This is very fun. So Jen, here's what's going on. Here's the next sort of phase for you. The next phase of this begins and starts with you bringing your knowledge and expertise, which are the swords here in this boat, to different places, maybe different audiences. It may not be that you're going to travel to some place far away and like give a lecture, although it could be something like that. But you are going to continue to expand your audience and the people you are reaching with your work, and your knowledge, especially, and skills. And so that's what this Six of Swords here is. And there's going to be some mixed feelings about that. It's going to feel a little bit risky and scary to bring this message, your ideas and yourself, to, again, like audiences that you hadn't traditionally thought of as being your audience, people that you may not necessarily off the top of your head think these are, my ideal clients or the people that need this message. But it's going to be key in order for you to continue to expand and move forward into the next phases of, especially, I think in this, it's mostly about like your career and the work that you're doing as a coach, which is great work. You're doing wonderfully. So you are looking at expanding that, and again, speaking to new audiences, expanding your ideas of like who you can reach with this, because I think there's probably some untapped niche or group of people that you haven't really. It wouldn't be obvious to you at first, like these people would benefit from what I have to offer. And so that's what I see is that expansion. And again, there's gonna be some ups and downs with that. There's gonna be some conflicted emotions, at first. Um, and with that, there's going to be, again, more, it's going to be continuing the great work that you're doing. It's not going to require you to like change the core of who you are or what you're offering. You might have to change a little bit of your messaging kind of thing, to speak to this, again, this new audience, this new niche of people. And so that's the challenge. But it doesn't mean that you have to completely reinvent everything that you're doing. What you offer, the skills that you bring, that unique thing that you do, that is what these other people need. So don't get too pulled off course with that. Don't get too far from the core of what you offer people and what you're doing. And as you go through this new audience, again, is going to bring you greater prosperity and reach. And the challenge of doing all of this, and this seems a little more long term, like this isn't just this week. This is going forward into this year and maybe the next year as well. But you'll come out of it not just having expanded your business and helped even more people than you have and all these wonderful things. There's going to be some powerful inner revelations here. It's going to shake something loose. There's going to be an inward transformation that happens with this as well. It's hard to say exactly what that is or what that will look like. But it'll be a powerful revelation about yourself and, something that you've been holding on to. And so a greater and more spiritual transformation will come out of all of this as you get through it. But a great expansion for you. And again, just sort of reaching out to new shores. So really good stuff for you and all of your great work. Yeah. So thank you for that question, Jen. And we should have a chat sometime. I'll DM you this week. I keep saying that, but maybe we can have a coffee talk sometime, and maybe get Derek too. That'd be great. So thanks again, Jen. And moving on, we've got Happy is up next. Okay, TNO's current feelings towards me. Okay. Get a good shuffle. Another good shuffle. TNO's current feelings towards me. That's Happy's question. Okay, Happy. One cut for the cards, and this seems like it's the right thing. Okay, so. The Hierophant again. Everybody, a lot of people are just very approval seeking tonight. A lot of this sort of gatekeeping, approval seeking kind of thing. Oh, okay. So this person, TNO, which I assume is their initials, they so TNO is someone who is very, very fixated and concerned with other people's opinions about their choices in life and what they're doing. And so they've got a lot sort of stacking up on them that are affecting how they feel about you. And I'm going to kind of go backwards through this because the sense is that they actually carry quite a few powerful and intense feelings for you. But here's the problem, and here's what they're running into. So if they haven't expressed this to you, here's why. They're getting conflicted with family and friends. So they have probably some family members. This is the Hierophant here in this case. Possibly a parent, and it may not be a family member, but it's someone who is sort of an authority to them, someone that they look up to. And so their opinion is very important. And so this person may not have a favorable opinion of their relationship with you, of TNO's relationship with you, and they're expressing that to TNO. So that's creating doubt and causing TNO maybe to pull back or not express their feelings towards you, sort of these mixed feelings. And also, TNO is someone who also concerns themselves with what friends are saying. So I also sense that maybe, and some of these friends here in the Three of Coins, these are people that you might mutually know. So maybe they're gossiping a bit. So they're not really helping your cause either. And that's all really unfortunate. But I do get the sense that their feelings are so strong for you that they will persevere. In other words, as much as they're wrapped up in these opinions and maybe some gossip and things, and what other people think about your relationship or about you, ultimately their very strong, very fiery feelings for you will carry through. And so this is another situation where you need to kind of stick with it and be a little bit patient. And don't get too wrapped up in what these other people think. So what I would not do is start asking TNO, like, well, what did this person say about, what do your friends think about me, or whatever it is. Don't go down that rabbit hole, because that won't help anyone. That'll just get them more sort of concerned with what other people think. But be patient and know that they are carrying these strong feelings for you, and I think they will come around. So, okay. And with that, you want to know, can I know his next move? Will he come or not? Okay. Well, we can pull like one card for that, just because time is a little bit of an issue, but let's see if we can get some resolution for you, Happy. Let's see. So the devil here, that's really interesting. So in this case, I don't really see the devil as a bad thing here or a bad outcome. This tells me that this person he will come for you. It will take some time, like I said, but he will give in to these fiery feelings, because that's really what the devil signifies, is giving in to your passions and these deep things, these powerful emotions. And sometimes that can signify going too far with that. But in this context, I sense that this person actually will come to you. So it will happen. But I think it's going to take some time. It's probably going to take longer than you want it to, as often these things do. But they will come around, and when they do, it'll be big. They're just going to show up like, all of a sudden. So I think, yeah, I think they will come around. So I'm glad we could clarify that for you a little bit, Happy. Welcome into the live tonight, Montaigne. We have actually the list is full for the evening. So unfortunately, I can't get to you tonight. Yeah, as my wonderful mod and wife Candy has just said in the chat. But please subscribe to the channel and select the notification icon. That way you get notified every time we have a live. I try to do these on Tuesday evenings, 7 p.m. Mountain Time here in the States, Denver time. But yeah, subscribe and ring the bell, and that way you won't miss it. And yes, Heavenly, you are up right now, so we will get to you. And Heavenly Principles asks, I wanted to know the actions versus intentions of my boyfriend. He's being really confusing and difficult towards me. I'll wait till other readings are done. Okay. Well, thank you for waiting, Heavenly. We're going to get to you right now. So, and I think, well, so I was going to try to get the Lover's card out here, but I think these are some cards for you. So we have Strength. That's a good one. Let's get the third card. Ooh, Nine of Cups again. Always a joyful card to see. Card of contentment. Okay. So there is a sense of I think your boyfriend has some very kind and strong, but very kind and good feelings towards you. Strength is such an interesting card here because even though it's called strength, it is like this idea of like this nurturing strength, this motherly and feminine strength. The woman in the card here is being very kind and compassionate to this lion. She's not stabbing it with a sword. She's taming it. This tells me that your boyfriend has very good and strong feelings and intentions in this relationship. And to some extent, has a feeling of like protecting you and looking over you to some extent. And maybe even some sense of nurturing. And this is probably something that he's not really used to feeling. He may not even be able to identify it as this. And so it's very conflicting for him because it probably goes against a lot of his sense of, the sort of the stereotypical male energy and ideas we have around being a man in the world and that kind of thing. And so that's the conflict of like, he has these very strong, again, like sort of nurturing and kind feelings towards you, but doesn't know how to express them well. Because society tells us as a man, you're not supposed to act or speak in certain ways. You're not supposed to express this sort of like love and compassion. And so I think that's where a lot of the confusion and difficulty is. He's at conflict with these things. And so Knight of Cups here again speaks to that, where like I think again he gets weird. So like he's trying to express, he has a feeling towards you, like, oh, I want to express something kind towards her or say something nice. He said he's tired of me and our relationship is not working and he wants to end it in a month, but I know he still loves me. Okay. So that adds a little bit of perspective. I can see I can see him wanting to run. So that's the Knight of Cups in a lot of ways. The horse, So there's a bit of the idea of like, yeah, he's just really conflicted about this. He actually has a profound feelings for you, and he just doesn't know what to do with it. And so he's feeling this urge to like run away, to gallop away on this horse, and escape. Now, this is interesting because there's an outcome here of contentment and joy. Given what we're seeing here, it suggests to me that in order for him to work through some of this, there may need to be that time apart. And so I think that's where this is coming from. He has to sort of figure out how to deal with his feelings first before he can really be in this relationship. So he has these strong feelings, and yet I think it may be necessary for him, especially to sort of get right with that, is to be apart from you for a bit. And you might find some relief and contentment from that as well, even though you know his true feelings. So that's a very complicated situation. Um, and I wish the answer here in the cards and from Spirit was a lot more sort of straightforward, like, oh, just do this and everything will be great. But there is going to be some time of separation. I do believe that through that, though, something greater will emerge and he will grow a bit emotionally. So I think there is a sense that you will come back together sometime in the future. And I would say this for you is if you do end up breaking up, don't get too hung up on like waiting for that. So what should I do? Well, let's get a little more advice. I can pull one more card and see if we can get you a little direction. So the Empress, there's that card of gestation. So this is this idea of time. And so this just helps to confirm the idea that it is going to require some time for you to be apart, that you will come back together, I think, somewhere down the road, but it might be quite a bit of time. It might be years. Some of the most strongest relationships people have are ones where, maybe they were together when they were younger. They split up for many years, a number of years, and they both kind of grew and changed and went through healing and transformation. Then they came back together and had really great relationships after that. So I think there is going to be a need for some time apart. And unfortunately, it's not something you can rush, but give it that due time. Take some time for yourself, if you do end up splitting up, and really look inward at like what you've learned from this, what you really need and want from a partner, because I think it will eventually happen. But I do think you need some time apart, and I know that's hard to hear, but you will find some solace and comfort in it. Maybe not at first. Obviously, it's a sad thing, but you will get over that, and you will find some contentment and joy out of this phase of things. And I think you will be led back together eventually. So, thank you for that question, Heavenly. And we are on to Misty. And for you, Misty, I think we'll switch back up to the Crow deck today. So we have Misty next, and then Fairy Tale, Marianne, or Marion, I'm not sure, and Miss Herard, and those will be all the readings for the evening. You're welcome, Heavenly. Okay, Misty, what do we got? A general reading. Okay. So, generally speaking, what does Spirit have to tell you? Four of Cups. The Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, haven't seen that tonight. And Five of Pentacles. A lot of strong earth energy this week. So this is this is a really interesting one, Misty. And this is really great. So this is good stuff. The Four of Cups is telling me that you have a lot of there are quite a few sort of joyful and good things. There's some very good and well-meaning things in your life. Quite a bit of joy. And what's going on is maybe you're a little bit fixated on one specific thing. Maybe it's some part of your life or something that isn't quite going the way you'd like it to. So you're losing sight a little bit of all the good things that are happening. Your life is actually more complete, maybe, than it feels like in this moment. And there's no shame in that. That's just human nature. The mind gets easily fixated on problems, and we lose sight of the things that aren't problems, that are actually good in our lives. So that's what you're dealing with here. And so a lot of the message in that is to take some time, take stock of everything that you have, all the good things in your life, practice a little bit of gratitude there. As you do so, by doing that, some new riches and abundance will enter your life. It's sort of the beginning of new riches and abundance. May not be like you just magically win the lottery or anything like that, but the beginnings of something that is really going to grow for you and provide some great prosperity for you. The seed of that will appear to you soon, but it's going to require you, again, to be really grateful and in tune with everything going on in your life, all the good things in your life. If you are still kind of fixated on this one thing that's not so great, then you will miss this opportunity. And it's a very important one. So you don't want to miss it. So try to pull back from the things that you're getting sort of fixated on, and let the universe bring the new thing to you. If you do that, you will avoid quite a bit of like pain and suffering. So this new prosperity is going to help you avoid some financial hardship and just general hardships. Otherwise, you will kind of get stuck in that place, not just physically and financially, but also emotionally. You might get stuck in a pretty big rut. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. So really just be present and grateful going forward in the next week or two. And some great new thing is gonna appear to you, probably in a way that you didn't expect it. So I hope that helps and gives you some inspiration, Misty. And yes, unfortunately, Melissa and others, we will be wrapping up with the next 4 or so readings I have. But do please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification, the bell icon as well, so that you get notified when I'm live. I generally do this this time every week, which I'm in the States, so it's Tuesday evening here. I'm in Denver time, Mountain time, 7 to 9 p.m. But again, if you subscribe and hit notifications, you will get notified as soon as I'm live, and hopefully we can get you in for reading next week. Also, you can check out the channel and video descriptions. There are links to my website. So you can reach out to me personally. I have other ways that I offer a variety of readings and other services as well. So, okay, fairy tale. You would like to ask about your future, like partner, like your qualities and appearance. Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do with that. Qualities, I know we can find qualities. Appearance, that'll be interesting. Oh, there's that 6 of Swords. Judgment, very interesting. So, let's see, your future partner. So as far as like qualities in terms of like personality and character and things like that, I see a few themes here, and then I'll try to speak more to like appearance, because there's a little bit, I can infer a little bit of appearance, but it's not going to be as accurate. But as far as like qualities and characteristic, character as a person. So this future person, this future partner, someone who is fairly intelligent and knowledgeable, also well spoken, and someone who is not who likes to share these thoughts and knowledge with lots of people, not just his closest friends and others, but someone who is comfortable in speaking in groups, into larger audiences and things like that. Also, someone who is very practical. So they will cut through a lot of the feelings about things with knowledge. And that's going to be that's a double-edged sword, pardon the pun. It's the kind of thing where like often you will value this in your partner, but there will be an occasion or two where they maybe aren't reading the room, and they'll say something very practical when really what you wanted was like some reassurance. Um, yeah, I this used to be me to a T. You can ask Candy. And I've gotten better with that. There are times where she is struggling with something and she just wants me to console her or comfort her and not really solve the problem. So this is the kind of person who is going to be a problem solver, a fairly intellectual person. And once in a while, they will put their foot in their mouth and just say something that, might be factually true, but just it wasn't the time. But overall, like they're going to be, that's not always bad things. There'll be a lot of times where that's a good thing in your life. Also, I sense this person is going to have some higher sense of like some sense of connection to, the universe. They might not be the most deeply spiritual person in the world, someone who just like meditates on top of a mountain all day, but they're going to be someone who has a sense of the interconnectedness of things. It might be a very intuitive sense. It might not be something that they acknowledge, they speak about or talk a lot about directly, but you'll feel it in their energy. So this is going to be someone who is very kind and compassionate as well. Even though they are quite knowledgeable and maybe a little bit sort of nerdy and tend to geek out about things, they do have an underlying compassion for the world and those around them. And it's also going to be someone who has good friendships in their life. So they might not have, well, they'll probably have a pretty good friends list, quite a few friends in their life, but some of those friends they will be quite close with. And those will be people that will probably welcome and embrace you into their circle of friends as well. So those are some characteristics of the person. As far as their character, the kind of person they are, their personality. Physically, can be a little tricky to get physical appearance out of this. Someone with, so he will certainly be a man and be fairly masculine in many ways, but there will be sort of a flowing nature to their look. So maybe this person has like longer hair. I get a lot of that out of the waves here in this card. Someone who does also like to take care of himself a bit, not someone who just, so someone who does like to sort of clean up nicely, not like the blue collar type person who like doesn't really care if they're like grungy and stuff. Someone who does like to kind of dress nice and look nice, but isn't overly obsessed with that. So that's really good. And as far as like living goes and what I can glean from this is, I think the Six of Swords here speaks to that the most. So they're going to be working in some kind of living that is more intellectual, something more like a desk job. I can't say real specifically, but maybe tech or finance or something like that, something that requires some smarts. This is not going to be someone who's doing tons of physical labor, although they will be fairly physically fit. But I don't think you're going to get someone who's like a professional mechanic or as a contractor or roofer or something like that. It's going to be someone who uses knowledge and skill and communicates for a living. So hopefully that gives you some ideas, fairy tale. But really sort of beautiful things for you. So thank you for your reading. And now we have Marion. And you asked for a general reading, Marion. Okay. And then we will have Miss Herard. Will be our last reading for the evening, and we will have to wrap it up. So, again, thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Thank you for all of your support, your subscriptions, your likes, and notifications and donations as well. Every little thing helps so much. It helps me, keeps me coming back here every week. And I really promise that we will not miss next week. It's been a little bit of fits and starts with this, so really absolutely want to be here next Tuesday. So again, make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get notified when I am live and rocking. Okay, Marion, general reading for you. Let's cut the cards real quick. Wow. Justice. Okay, that's Six of Swords. And we've seen death a couple of times. Very interesting. And I will throw out the general disclaimer about cards like death or the devil. Do not necessarily mean that you will, does not predict any kind of imminent demise, that you'll be leaving this earth anytime soon, nor does the devil predict that you're going to be possessed by the devil or anything like that. But it does suggest a transition. So very interesting here. General reading. So Six of Swords in your case, similar meaning, but a little different, a little more vague, I think. Six of Swords suggests that you are going to have to open up communication to people that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be communicating with. It's hard to say exactly through what part of your life that's going to happen, whether it's through friendships and networking, or maybe more in your career. But you're going to have to start engaging with and bringing your message and ideas to some people that are new to you in some way, and probably people who you wouldn't necessarily expect yourself to be interacting with. Some new folks, new shores. And that's what this is a card of. It's bringing knowledge and skill to a distant shore, to a new place. And as you do this, one of the challenges you're going to face is you're going to have to use a little bit of discernment and good judgment in who exactly you are communicating with and exactly how, the exact words and way that you put this knowledge out there, the way you communicate to these people, because these will be people that are very new to you. And there's going to be some differences in your worldview. They're not going to be the type of people that you are used to necessarily interacting with. So you'll need to use some discernment and judgment here. And that's going to be a transformative experience. You're going to learn through this how to craft your words more carefully and be more thoughtful about exactly what and how you share with people, because you are meant to share this stuff with these people. But it's going to look a little different. And out of that transformation is a big death of the old you. The part of you that maybe was afraid to broaden your horizons a bit. Part of you is going to become more confident that you can go and talk to people you don't know as well. And so that is the message here. Expect an opportunity again to bring your ideas to new groups of people. Be mindful about exactly how you're presenting those ideas to these new people, and you will experience this transformation. You will be renewed and feel reinvigorated in your ability to communicate and share your knowledge with others. What a wonderful week ahead, I would say. So thank you, Marion. I hope that inspires you and gives you some ideas. And Miss Herard will be the last reading for the evening. We're going to switch decks here real quick because I feel like it. Miss Herard, will my Etsy business be very successful this year, 2026, like in a life-changing way? Okay. Success at Etsy. You're welcome, Marion. I'm glad. And thank you for all of your support. Okay. Miss Gerard, will my Etsy business be very successful this year, like in a life-changing way? Okay. There's that Four of Pentacles. Oh, Judgment. Well, that is going to be life-changing. I'll tell you right now. So, yes. um, there will be this business will be a transformative thing for you. It's going to change your life in many ways. It will be successful. A lot of what this transformation is not just the actual like financial transformation. In other words, yes, you will have success at this. That will bring more money in, more income. And farther down the road, it might become your full-time gig if it isn't already. I can't predict that you'll get to that place this year, but this thing will grow and start to take off. And so a lot of that transformation is in the bank account, is in the money that you're bringing in, the success there. But a lot of the success is the intangible parts of this. And that's what a lot of this transformation is. And I can tell you this not just from the message here from Spirit, but speaking from my own experiences as well, being an entrepreneur myself. Stepping into entrepreneurship and stepping into success can be quite jarring. You would think like, great, I have success, like I'm selling, or whatever, the business is going great, I'm making all this money. Why would there be a problem? Well, we're not necessarily used to that. We get programmed with things from childhood about money and wealth and what money means, and ideas like, only certain things in life are worth money, right? Certain things we do. So we can have these limiting beliefs like, you can't, for example, be an artist, for example, and make a living. All artists just starve and you have to get a real job, that kind of thing. Or making too much money is just kind of evil, or like money is evil. I can't say specifically for you what that thing is, but there is some limiting belief, something that you're clinging to here that's going to rear up. So things might start going really well, and then you're going to be kind of scared about it at first. But that's the big transformation. It goes beyond just this thing being successful. And again, you will succeed at this year, and in a big way. But a lot of this life change is for you, is stepping into the person who is ready and able to receive this success and abundance, and can spend that money wisely as well. So this is the other thing, is in business, you are always having to reinvest, a chunk of what you're earning into your business to make it grow. And that can get very scary too, because especially if you're new, being a business owner and that kind of thing, you can easily sort of get hung up on like, well, I'm taking money in, I don't want to spend any of it. But you do need to reinvest as you go along. So things like that are going to come up. And that's really the big transformation. It isn't just this new success, but it's really learning how to be comfortable and feel good about that success. It's really crazy to think about, that the thing you want happening could actually be scary. But I can tell you from my own experience, it can be. So be prepared for that. And there are lots of ways to work through that. And that's something that, as it starts to come up for you, I would be happy to talk to you more about one-on-one, and maybe try to help you through that with other readings and other things, and resources that I can point you at. So yes, to bring it back around, yes, you will be very successful this year. It will change your life in a lot of big ways, and there will be some ups and downs with that. But the big transformation is stepping into that success and learning how to own that. Because you will feel there's responsibility that comes with it. So again, really good tidings for you, but just be prepared, because there will be this roller coaster, this emotional roller coaster with it, even when it's going well. So, thank you for that, Miss Gerard. Tropical Tarot. So So Tropical, we are actually ending for the evening. I will be signing off, so I can't do a free or a mini reading for you tonight. If you want to book a one-on-one Zoom reading with me, you can do that, and that's a personal one-on-one reading. It's live, and there is a discount code and sign-up links for that in the descriptions for the video. If you want to come back for a mini reading, I'm here every Tuesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time, Denver, U.S. time. And please subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get notified when I'm live, because I do these every week. But my time is a bit limited, and so we do get filled up pretty quickly. But hopefully I'll hear from you. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight. And I really look forward to seeing you all next week.